Hi, I'm Micah. This is my wife, Kelly, and this is our story. We got married in November of 2014. I can tell you myself, I was immature. I wasn't ready for marriage. I knew I found the right woman, but going into the marriage, it wasn't Christ-centered. There was a lot of selfish decisions. There was a lack of showing her love, and because of that, she couldn't show me respect. It was a hard first 2 years for us because I started school, so financially it was troubling. So everything just kind of compounded on each other. And along with our first 2 years of marriage, I was not spiritually leading her. I wasn't even spiritually leading myself. It's no excuse, but with everything going on at home, and it's almost like I had a school life and a home life. And school life is easy, home life is difficult. Time. During my time at school, I fell into a friendship that was unbecoming. People always tell you God gives you a way out, God gives you a way out, God gives you a way out. And little by little, ignoring the doors opened for a chance to be honest, I became numb to it. I became numb to any sort of way out that God was showing me. Any conviction or guilt that was there was just gone. That's how far away and lost I got from any sort of godliness and any sort of spirituality I had left. And this whole time we were going to Vision, and I was going to church, and I was sitting there and putting on this mask, basically. I eventually spiraled down a path and I was unfaithful to Kelly, and I was on the ground at the condo. She wasn't home. I was weeping, crying out, saying, "What did I do? What did I do? She's going to leave me. Like, there's no question about it." My dad pointed me to his pastor. I think that was the first person I spoke to individually. So when I got there, I told him everything. And he told me what I didn't want to hear. He told me everything opposite of what I was looking for. And I told him, before our marriage, I gave my life to Christ, but not all of my life. I gave just a piece. And he said, "I think this is the moment. If you just choose, this is your time. This is going to be a beautiful time." And that was the first decision towards her and towards Christ I made, because I got on the phone and ended the other relationship for good.
All throughout our marriage, I was on this pedestal of like, I'm going to love you to the best of my ability, and then Christ gets everything that I have left over. And so he said something to me, and selfishly, I was like, no. And then I had to take a step back and spend a lot of time with the Lord, like praying through that, because he said, I'm struggling with the decision to move forward with our marriage, but I'm choosing this. So I might not want this right now, but this is what I'm choosing. And I remember sitting there and thinking, I can't do this. I'm done. Like I gave it my best shot. I can't do this anymore. And for the first time in my entire life, and it scared me, I heard this audible voice, and it was this deep, deep voice. And that was like, "You're fine. I'm here with you. Hang in there. Like, just stay with me here." And it was like, I had this peace come over me, and I had this visual of just God and I being in this boat, like surrounded by a storm and chaos. And then God just holding me saying, "I'm here. I'm with you. Hang on."
Vision as a church just surrounded us. I mean, it was unbelievable. It was more than we could ever ask for. And godly friends, godly friendships, fellowship. God had us at Vision before everything happened. He had us surrounded by people that were about to be planted in our marriage for good, for a very specific reason. I developed a lot of close relationships and close friendships that I've never had before that were very Christ-centered, and they were able to pour into me in a way that I've never seen. It was a very unconditional and very grace and very merciful friendship that I could be as vulnerable as I want with them, and they would just love on me no matter what.
That once we dipped more than a toe into the pond, if you will, once we decided, all right, we've got to be all in. We had an army of people that were constantly praying and would come over to our house in the middle of the night and pray with us. And Christ, I know, believes in restoration, and Christ believes in restoring broken things. And I sat down with some of the ladies at Vision, and not a single word that came out of their mouth was their own opinion. They wanted to pray with me, and they wanted to just surround me with Christ's love.
A lot of those friendships, a lot of those guys saw a lot of potential in me that I was really unable to see in myself. It's still to this day, like, seeing how God was working in my life through those friendships and through those relationships, through those marriages for us. I mean, it's just crazy. It's unbelievable to fathom. And honestly, it wasn't just to save me, to save us, to save our marriage. I mean, he did it for a purpose. And now I am able to go out and be a disciple for somebody else. Ever since making that first initial choice of making Christ the priority of my life, and basically putting my marriage and my wife second, if you will, there's complete honesty. There's a level of conviction in my life that, like, it has never been there before. Pastor Tyson said something one time during church. He said, "Never forget how low I had to reach to bring you back up." And that has stuck with me for the longest time. And you think you're too far from Christ, but you're not. No matter what it is, no matter what mountain is standing in front of you, I mean, that mountain will crumble at his feet.
I just want to start by saying how joyful I am to be standing here with you. Looking around and seeing all these faces, one sentence, and to see what God has done in our lives. And throughout all these words, I want to glorify and praise his name. Seeing how he's changed our marriage through something that was meant for our destruction. Every day we get to stand up to the enemy and show him that whatever he has planned, God's plan is stronger, and his will always be victorious. And I consider this to be a baptism of our marriage, a marriage where we are both truly saved, and a renewal of our marriage that points to Christ. I'm not one for expressing myself in eloquent words, but one thing I will say, and that God made truly apparent to me, was throughout our testimony and throughout writing this, is that he is absolutely powerful, and there's nothing he can't do.